have you done?
Oh my god! Security! Security!
Is Prey the best game ever? I wouldn't say that, but how does it hold up? I recently played Prey on PC and I'd like to give you my thoughts. In Prey, you awaken aboard the Talos I, a space station orbiting the moon in the year 2032. You are the key subject of an experiment meant to alter humanity forever, but things have gone terribly wrong. The space station has been overrun by hostile aliens and you are now being hunted. With a Steam overall rating of very positive, and Metacritic giving it an 81%, it was quite well received by players and critics alike, but it's not quite the praise, see what I did there, that I expected. Fellow YouTuber Downward Thrust said that a big failure on the game's part was the playable demo was actually the first hour of the game, which reveals a lot. Actually, way more than what should have been given away before release. I totally agree with that statement. However, I experienced the game fresh. I had not watched any footage or played the demo beforehand, and I was totally blown away by the first hour. From this point on, there will be spoilers, so be warned. Awakened in your apartment, you have some time to explore, and there are neat things to find. You soon step into a helicopter. The way they created these opening credits to the game blew me away. The music was sharp, but also gave me the feel of like a 1980s outlook on the future. You arrive to your first day working with your brother, and start like any other day at work, standing behind glass, performing basic tasks for scientists who appear either agitated or confused by all of your actions. Eventually, you come to the end of this with a blackout sequence, and you awake once more in your bed. It's like the game is restarted, only it's off. Something isn't right. Oh, this was all a simulation. Man, that blew me away. I genuinely had no idea what was coming. Maybe I'm not great at predicting the future, but either way, I was pleasantly surprised. The rest of the story unfolds through voice records coming from both yourself prior to these events, and from others such as the deceased crew members of the Talos I and your brother Alex. I don't have to spoil any more story. I think you have been adequately brought up to speed, so let's look at the pros. The game's graphics look fantastic, and the game is so well optimized. I don't have the strongest machine, but my 1070 GTX and my i5 6600K were able to run max settings with no frame loss, while running OBS. The difficulty is there. On normal difficulty, Prey was not a walk in the park. Using ammo wisely and sneaking when possible were constant elements because you never knew what loomed beyond the next corner. Enemies were fun, and the mimics actually jump scared me a few times when the pistol I tried to pick up jumped violently towards my face. I was totally afraid of the phantoms, and my first time killing one felt so amazing. It paralleled some of those feelings I experienced when I killed my first difficult boss in Dark Souls 1, a feeling that I have long since missed. The first time seeing a nightmare actually filled me with dread, and that is just to name a few. You will find more creatures aboard the Talos I and outside. Spacewalking was nicely implemented. As far as the simulation goes, it gives the feeling of weightlessness and punishes you for overspamming your propulsion system by sending you forever drifting. The soundtrack is a huge part of the pacing of the game. When music got intense, I was totally booking it through stairwells and corridors. It also gave me some assurance that it was okay to catch my breath. It is an effective gameplay element, and it is nice to listen to. The sound effects are also better than what you would normally get from modern AAA titles. Every different material has a different sound when you walk on it. Very impressive. The controls are tight and precise when playing keyboard and mouse. Due to the nature of the game, I didn't bother trying to use a controller as accuracy was of utmost importance. The talent tree, or neuromod system, allows you to really dial in the kind of character you want to be, making your playstyle unique, and there are a load of interesting combinations to try out. Through the first half of the game, I was turret dropping and bullet timing my way, killing everything in my path with a shotgun. But 10 hours in, I realized that I had used most of my resources available to me, and I could no longer find or create ammo. The difficulty went from easy to hardcore just like the flip of a switch. While I see this as a major annoyance, I won't call it a con because I kind of did it to myself. The game does not hold your hand. Really, in 2017, we have a game that won't spoon feed you and wipe your ass. Who would have thought? These are just some of the pros that I can think of. And for cons, Backtracking can be an issue for many players, as you will be going around the same areas a ton. I personally didn't have a problem with this, as I am a Metroidvania kid, but I can understand why some might find this as an inconvenience. Although the enemy design is good, it's terribly limited. There aren't enough variety of enemies, and when you progress through the game, you see the same creatures with different auras and status effects. This does make the game feel repetitive after you've spent 10 or more hours within the space station. Also, there are some bugs in the game that can affect your ability to complete side quests, which is clearly a huge issue, but I personally was not affected, and I look to see these bugs being patched out entirely in the near future. So in conclusion, I honestly haven't had this much fun with a game since the original Dark Souls, and I haven't had this much fun with a first-person shooter since Halo 2. I love Prey, and I think you might as well, and that's why I'm giving Prey a 9.5 out of 10.